Hello, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Good, thank you so much for meeting. My name's Danielle.
I'm Devon.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I understand that you were applying for the team manager position. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask you a few questions and get to maybe know you a little bit better. So maybe what draws you a little bit to UCLA?
I'm drawn to sports first, and then I went to college. I like education and schools and the whole combination of athleticism with the school. In UCLA specifically, I always wanted to go to UCLA, and even if I did not, I always liked your team. And I'm aware of the legacy that UCLA has, one of the top schools for sure in California, and definitely across the nation.
So you're more, I see that you're, doing a team manager. What draws you to that type of industry?
Well, first of all, gymnastics. I've done gymnastics and I've done other sports. I'm gone into sports. Second, I have a communications degree from Cal State San Bernardino, and a team manager combines both sports and communication, and that's the main reason as well.
Okay. What kind of experience do you have just in general?
Well, I'll start with my work experience. I have worked coaching gymnastics for 6 years now. A couple of different places over Southern California, from local smaller gyms to currently I work at Women's Gymnastics, which is ranked fifth or sixth in the state, I believe. I also went to school. I always wanted to get a degree, and I worked for that really hard. I have a degree in communication, specifically mass communication from Cal State San Bernardino. I worked with a radio station. I have worked with a newspaper, so I know how to write a press release, etc. I'm doing an internship with the city of Riverside with community development, which is not really related to what I'm applying for, but I learn about paperwork and calling people and multitasking.
How did you actually hear about the position?
Well, actually, I heard about the position. Like I said, I worked at Women's Gymnastics in Chino, and we used to gymnastics recruited one of our athletes, and she was there.
Oh, okay, perfect. So how do you think you could fit the UCLA profile?
Well, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm that's a good team in UCLA. I'm very professional as well. I have a drive to do better. I consider myself really competitive, which is important in this field, and I know UCLA wants to be one of the top schools in the nation, always pursuing that goal of winning championship.
So, there's a lot of different aspects of being a manager. Can you give me an example, maybe one of multitasking things?
Well, throughout life, I had a multitask, and from being at a young age, I was a big brother, and my parents on the board. So I had to be the big brother to this and that for the kids, with my siblings, as well as going to school. And then on a more professional side, I went to college and I worked at the same time, so that's how to do multitasking. I learned how to keep deadlines and do different things at different times. Sometimes I had to be doing work stuff or school related stuff at the same time.
So what kind of goals do you have in life?
I would like to find a career instead of a job. My goal would be to find a permanent job here and a permanent career pretty much at home at UCLA. One day I would like to coach for UCLA, and I think this is a real starting point to get acquainted with the system and with coaches, athletes, etc.
Maybe just share a little bit of your work ethic.
Well, I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very driven. I rarely miss work. If I miss, it has to be something big. Actually, I can't recall the last time I missed work. I really missed for a car accident, so I'll be there whether I'm sick, whether I'm tired. I'll get the job done. I pay attention to detail, which in this field is really important, and I try and be aware of what my position is and what I can do, how it affects people and how it helps people, and that's a big part of my work ethic.
What do you think is your strongest strength?
In general life or as far as this field?
Both.
I think I'm really responsible, and that's one of my strongest assets. I really try to not be responsible. I try and be dependable because I know that people depend on me for certain things. I don't want to let people down.
What would be your biggest weakness?
This is a question. I think sometimes I'm too hard on myself. Or I don't believe in myself enough. And I think that's definitely a weakness. Sometimes it seems like it's a good thing that you are very hard on yourself and hard. I'm a bit of a perfectionist too. I don't know if that's a weakness or a strength. But yeah, I think I could believe in myself a little bit more sometimes from time to time.
Do you think that'd be like a goal for you to kind of work on?
Yeah, I'm currently working on that. I'm trying to, that's why I applied here. I'm trying to achieve bigger goals and go bigger goals.
What would be your biggest accomplishment?
Well, one of my biggest accomplishments is graduating from college. I put a lot of work into that. I worked to pay for school. I switched my majors a couple of times because I could have done my first major, which was marketing, but I decided that if I was going to go through it the whole 4 or 5 years, it had to be something that I was passionate about, and that's why I switched. So it took a lot of work, it took a lot of sleepless nights, etc., but I got it done. And then professionally, I was a gymnastics coach. I have many state champions. But more than the result of having state champion, I like the journey of taking kids, working with them, and helping them achieve their goals.
Do you have a failure that maybe your biggest failure?
Well, for a while I thought switching majors was failure, and it took me a while to understand it was actually a good thing, and I did it because I wanted to find something I was really passionate about. But for a while that was a failure for me because I had classmates who graduated way before me, and I was still going to school, I was still taking those general classes, my new field. So I think that was a little bit of a failure, and then there's smaller ones, certain times where you think, oh, I could have done this to help. For example, in the last certain athletes, I felt I could have done more for her, I could have approached my coaching differently, but I definitely went for that.
What kind of challenges do you expect to face as a team manager?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges is communication. You have to communicate with the athletes, which can be difficult for the age because they are putting a lot of hours in the field or at the gym, plus going to school. So I think that's a challenge that I expect, as well as getting used to traveling and getting used to being in that competitive field, which I'm already in, but it's not at the same magnitude.
Do you think you could adapt easily to change?
Yeah, I always adapt to change, from going to different schools, switching jobs. I'm pretty good at that, I believe.
Okay. Well, one of the qualifications for a team manager is obviously teamwork. How would you describe teamwork?
Well, teamwork is like a puzzle. Every person in there is a piece, and then you put them together. It's about molding, and it doesn't have to fit perfectly sometimes. Sometimes you can have different views and different perspectives. But a lot of teamwork has to do with respecting each other's opinions and styles of work.
There's a lot of problems that we experience when we're trying to get ready for a game or get ready to move. So how are you a problem solver?
Well, first, I usually try and step out of my own shoes and look at things from different perspectives, which I believe is a big deal when you're trying to solve something. You cannot look at things one way, you have to look from many different perspectives. And then I try to take action. That's the most important thing. You can think about it, you can sit and think about a solution, but if you don't actually take action, it's not going to get done.
So how do you think you can help athletes on and off the field?
Well, on the field, I have knowledge in gymnastics, so I know that could help them. Plus, I went to school and I had a job, so I know the time management that goes with that. Off the field, I can help them with homework if they need to. I can help them arrange for tutoring or just guide them in the right direction if they need the help.
That's good. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to the manager. You're obviously communicating with, the coaches and the players, and, you're still dealing with other different aspects. How would you feel about, like, equipment? Are you comfortable with equipment and, like, okay with lifting things?
Yeah, I've done that through the years, working in this field. I know the equipment, I know how to handle that equipment, which sometimes people that do not have experience in gymnastics do not know.
Okay. And, we have deadlines that we need to get things done. So, making sure that we're on time and very proper, make sure things are, I see that you have great resume. Your resume is excellent. So, one thing, like I said, communication is really big. How would you use your communication skills as a communicator?
Well, definitely having communication degree in general is a great asset for this position. I taking classes from interpersonal communications, which I think has helped. Intercultural communications, I know UCLA has people from all over the world, so I know that will help as well. I think I'm an ethical communicator. I know what to say and what not to say, and I know how to talk to people, how to try and understand people. So I'm definitely grateful that I went for communication.
Good. I'm glad, you decided that was the right thing for you. Those are all the questions that I have for you at the moment. Do you have any questions for me?
No, not really. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely my pleasure. I'd like to set you up with a second interview with my assistant manager. We'll, kind of go a little bit further into detail about, the position. But I definitely think you're qualified for this position, so we'll definitely take care and we'll hear from you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you.